Hello everybody, how are you? Hello everybody, how are you? It is time to start our day. It is time to work and play. Hello everybody, how are you? How are you guys today? Are you good today? Is it a good Monday so far? If you had a good weekend, give me 2 thumbs up. Awesome. If you got to go outside and play, raise your hands up in the air. That is awesome. I hope you guys did have good weekends. Are you wondering about this? Yep. This is my crazy cap. Today is Crazy Cap Day. We're going to talk about that more in a little bit. If you are not wearing a crazy cap but have one and want to put it on, pause the video. Go put it on. I'll still be here. I won't go anywhere. Go put your crazy cap on and come back and join us. See what mine does? Let's see if I can make it go. Mine spins and it's got all different kinds of colors. Well, like I said, we'll talk more about that in a minute. Before we begin on what we're going to talk about today, let's do our apple finger play one more time. So put those apple trees high up in the air. Way up high in the apple tree, 4 little apples smiled at me. I gave that tree a great big shake. Down came the apples. They're great. I love apples, don't you? They're just juicy and sweet and delicious. The reason we're talking about apples one more time is because it's our last day to check our apple experiment. And I'm really glad it's our last day because it's time for these apples to get out of my house. They're getting pretty yucky. If you've been doing the apple experiment at home, how's it going? How do your apples look? Mine don't look very good anymore. I did check on them over the weekend and I did make notes of what they look like. But before we go over my notes, let's take a peek at them together. You ready? Oh, I'm glad you can't smell them. They're pretty yucky. This is the air one. Today I am not going to touch them. They're too yucky. Can you see them? Look at how he's gotten moldy and spotty. Definitely not something to eat. He would not be sweet. He would not be delicious. That is the air one. Let's see if you can see him better from that way. Yuck. Look at the water one. Can you see what's happened to the water? Even the water is disgusting now. I don't know. I can't turn him very well. I don't know how well you'll be able to see him. Like I said, I don't want to touch him. I don't want to spill the water. But he is also getting moldy and yucky. But interestingly enough, even though our vinegar one was the first one to turn brown, he hasn't changed. He's the same as he was a few days into it. There's our vinegar guy. So what I wrote on our board was that it started to turn brown and yucky, and that they started to get moldy. So that's what I added to our board. So now, after we're done here together, I'm going to throw these away. I am done with our apple experiment. I hope that if you've done it at home, that you have taken good notes and made good observations about your apples. And if you're finished, feel free to throw them away. They do get kind of yucky over time. Well, we're going to start a new week. On Monday mornings, we do Monday morning circle time. And at circle time, we talk about all these things behind me. If you are paying attention, you might have noticed that something has changed since the last time we were together. Take a look up at the board. Let's see. Last week we talked about the letter B, that's the same. We've been talking about circles, the color red, the month of September, the season of fall, that's all the same. But look over here, we have some new numbers up there. They used to say 0, 1, 2. Anybody know what those numbers are now? Let's take a good look at them. The top one is a 3. Many of you might be 3 years old. That's the number 3, what that looks like. And that's the word 3. The next one is one way to write the number 4. Kind of a triangle at the top and then a line down. Another way is to open up that triangle. Some people do that too. That says 4. I'll bet some of you guys are 4 years old. Raise your hand if you're 3. Okay, put them down. Raise your hand if you're 4. Okay, put your hands down. Because now it's our 5-year-old's turn. This is the number 5, and this says 5. Now raise your hand if you're 5. All right. And if you're younger than 3 or older than 5, these are the only numbers we're talking about today. So we're not going to raise your hands today, but you can still shout out your age if you're not 3, 4, or 5. Tell me real quick, how old are you? All right. Okay. We are talking about the numbers 3, 4, and 5. So now I'm going to pull this board over here. Let's take a look at this. Let's make sure you can see this. Let me adjust and make sure you guys can see. There we go. All of our numbers are on there. Like I said, we started off by talking about the number 0. Let's put a little closer for you. There we go. This is a 0. There's nothing in the 0 column. Remember when we first talked about it? I gave my cookie to Mr. Jeff and I ate one, so I had 0 cookies left, and then I had 0 apples the next time we talked about it. Well, if I add 1 to 0, then I have 1. Today I have 1 block in the number 1 column. If I add 1 more, how many blocks am I going to have? That's right, I have 2. There's the number 2, and I have 2 blocks. So those were the first numbers we talked about, 0, 1, and 2. Now we're moving on. If I have 2 blocks and I add 1, now I have 3. I have 3 blocks. I'm going to add 1 more. If I had 3, I add 1 more. Now I have 4. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's that number 4 with the open part at the top like I was talking about. And our final number is 5. Let's make sure I did that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whew, I did it right. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice it gets 1 block taller each time. Look closely. Maybe you noticed something else. Last week we talked about apple patterns. We did red, green, red, green, red, red, green, red, red, green. Take a look at my blocks. The first block is blue. Then I added a yellow. Then I added another blue, another yellow, another blue. My pattern is blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue. So what do you predict would go on top of there? Do you think it would be blue or yellow? It would be yellow if I kept going. But for now, we're going to stop there because we're talking about the numbers 3, 4, and 5. For the next few weeks, those are the numbers we're going to look at. All right, we're going to use this again in a few minutes, but right now I want to push it out of the way because I want to talk to you some more about what's behind me here. So we said that we changed those numbers, but nothing else had changed yet. But I was wrong. So one other thing did change. Every day we meet, we change the number on our calendar because every day gets a new number. We're still in the month of September, but today, this says today is Monday, the 28th. It's the 28th day of September. Now what's going to happen in a couple of days is we're going to get to the very end of September. You'll see that when we get to Wednesday, we'll have the number 30 there, and that's the last day of September. So when we come back on Thursday, we're going to change this word to the next month, and we'll start all over with the number 1. But for today, we have Monday, September 28th. All right, I do want to make some other changes, but I wanted you guys to help me out with them. The next change that I want to make is the shape. Which one of those things is the shape? Is this the shape? That's a letter. Is that the shape? That's a color. There's our shape. The shape was a circle that went round and round and round. I'm going to take this down. Can you say goodbye, circle? See you later, circle. We'll see you next time. We're going to put a new shape up. This is my, uh-oh, it's stuck. This is my new shape. What shape is this? Any guesses? Let's figure it out together. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 corners, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. Now, this is not the only shape that has 4 corners and 4 sides. What makes this shape special is that all the sides are the exact same length. They measure the same. This is called a square. And I've got a song. You ready? A square is like a box. A square is like a box. It has 4 sides. They're all the same. A square is like a box. Can you sing it with me this next time? You ready? A square is like a box. A square is like a box. It has 4 sides. They're all the same. A square is like a box. So I have a special square picture here that I'm going to hang up in place of our circle. Here you go, square. Welcome to class. You're going to hang out with us for the next few weeks. All right, that's not the only thing I want to change. I also want to change our color. This was the color red, and we spent some time talking about red last month. Can you say goodbye to red? Bye, red. It's your turn is done. We're going to put a new color up. But instead of telling you the color, how about we make the color? Do you remember last month we learned about primary and secondary colors? And you saw, that we talked about that if we took the color red and we mixed it with another color, we got a new color. So I want to try that with you guys. I have a bag, I have some red paint. And if you do this at home, that's okay, but make sure you ask your grown-up first, because this can get messy, but it's kind of a fun thing to try. So I'm going to take my bag, I'm going to take some red paint, and I'm just going to squirt a little bit into it. I don't need that much, because I'm just going to experiment. See, I just put a little bit of red. Now, here's the trick. I'm going to take the color yellow, and I'm going to add some yellow. Let's see, we might have to play around and see how much it takes of each one. I'm going to zip it closed. That part is important. And then I'm going to start mixing them together. And I wonder what I'm going to get when I mix up red and yellow together. Anybody remember what color we get? Let's see if you'll be able to tell on your screen there. Can you see what color I'm starting to get? Red and yellow together make the color orange. And it's starting to happen, but I didn't put very much in here, so it's kind of hard to see it. But you can play around with that at home. Like I said, ask your grown-up. And if you mix red and yellow together, you will get the color orange. So let's hang up our color orange. Here we go. Right where red used to be. A new shape, new color, and new numbers. How about a new letter? I think it's time for a new letter. Goodbye, B. Can you guys say goodbye, B? We are going to see the letter C today. The letter C has a picture of a cat on it, because cat starts with the letter C. Can you say cat and make that sound? Cat. Let's put that right up here. Now back to my crazy cap. Crazy and cap both start with the letter C. Colors start with the letter C, and I've got blue, red, yellow, and green. I've got different colors on my crazy cap. So I have a lot of C words going on up there. Let's make the C with our hands. Remember, we had A, which looked like this. B looked like that. And now C, it looks just like the letter, doesn't it? But you just curl your hand like that to make the letter C. Let's see, what are some names that start with the letter C? There's Carly, Caden, Connor, Carson. Those are some C names. Listening to that sound, K, we said cat, crazy, cap. Can you think of some other C words? Think for a moment. What else starts with that sound? K, k. Think about it and say them out loud if you think of some things. Let me listen. I heard some good ones. I heard calendar. That starts with the letter C. Very good. Carrot starts with the letter C. Very good, you guys. You know what else? Carrots are the color orange. So that's perfect for today because we're talking about both of those things. Now today, something we haven't done when we did the other letters, we did practice writing them with our fingers in some other ways, but we're going to start a letter journal together today. So we're actually going to go back to the letter A, and we're going to practice writing A together, then we'll practice B, and then we'll also do C. Now your grown-up can print out the letter journal for you if you'd like. It's on Facebook, and they can print that out. Otherwise, a piece of paper or even your finger in the air is fine. Let me pull my board back over here. We'll take our numbers down. Take my numbers down, and we will practice writing our letters. Can you see my A up here? Now the A is written in yellow first, and the reason it's like that is so you can trace it. And I had a marker, but I don't see my marker. Oh, here it is. I put it in the most logical place. All right, my marker is going to help me trace the A before I practice writing it. And again, if you don't have a paper, you can put your finger up in the air and you can do it that way. You know what? Let me pull this just a little bit closer to you guys so you can see. Is that better? Okay. There we go. When we made the A a couple weeks ago, we said we go up the mountain, down the mountain, and across the bridge. That's the uppercase A. So let's do that. Up the mountain, down the mountain, across the bridge. I traced my uppercase A. Now I'm going to trace the lowercase a, and that was the circle. Back up to the top and make a kickstand. Tracing it helps me learn how the letter is formed, how it's written. Now these lines over here, those are so I could practice by myself. I'm just going to do it one time with you, and then you can finish it later. On the top row, we'll do the uppercase, and the bottom row, we'll do the lowercase. So I start at the bottom line. I go up the mountain until I get to the top line, down the mountain until I get back to the bottom line, and then that line in the middle, that's going to be across the bridge. Now later, you guys can go in and write more A's to keep practicing. because the more you practice things, the better you get at them. So in this bottom row, let's do our lowercase a. I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to make a circle, come back around to the top, and then I'm going to bring my line down to make the kickstand. Notice how I tried to stay inside those lines. As you practice it, you'll get better at doing that. Don't worry about it if you can't do that right now. You'll get better as you practice. So you can trace, you can practice. Now this part says, my A words. This is where you get to find A words and glue them on. Let's see what I found. Well, first of all, I went through a magazine that was okay for me to cut. Again, you should ask a grown-up before you cut things up. I found the letter A. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit of glue from a glue stick. I'm going to put it on here. And the spot, this space is for me to put that. I also found a picture of an apple. Apple. That's an A word. So I'm going to glue that and put that on there. Now you can put more, you can find more if you'd like, and you can put them on there, but I'm just going to do those two for right now. Okay, on the back of this, let me show you what I have hiding back here, if it will come off nicely for me. I have the letter B. On the back of my A page was my B page. So let's do it again. I'm going to get my marker and I'm going to trace the B. Now the uppercase B, we start at the top and we make the straight line down. We go back up to the top and we make the top belly and then the bottom belly. Remember, an uppercase B has two bellies, a top belly and a bottom belly. Then I'm going to come over here to the lowercase b. Same thing. I make my straight line down, but this time I just go back up to the middle because the lowercase b just gets that bottom belly. So now remember what these lines are for? I'm going to practice my uppercase and my lowercase. But again, I'm just going to do it one time with you and you guys can finish it off later. The uppercase B starts at the top, comes down, goes back up. Now the top belly stays above the line, the bottom belly goes below the line. Lowercase b, I start at the top and come down. Now I don't go all the way back up to the top, I go up to that middle line and make the lower belly there, the bottom belly. All right, for this one, I didn't find a B word, I just found the letter B. So I'm going to put that there. I found a nice B in a magazine. So you guys can find some more B words and glue them onto your page too. All right, B and A, it's time to share the space here with the letter. What comes next, guys? A, B, C that we're talking about. Look at that, my magazine piece stuck. That's okay, we'll leave it there. Here is my letter C. So guess what, guys? We're going to do the same thing we've been doing. Now C, we haven't practiced writing together before. We did practice A and B, but C we hadn't practiced. C starts right here, and you go up and around, and you stop there. You don't make a full circle. You stop right there. And the little c, the lowercase c, same thing, just shorter. So we start at the top, we come around, and we stop before we get all the way around again. So when I make the C on the lines, I start just below the line. I go up and down and around. When I make the lowercase c, I just do that on the bottom half. Up and down and around. So you guys can practice those letters today, the A, the B, and the C. And later this week, we'll come back and we'll practice writing our numbers 0, 1, and 2. Okay? We'll do that later this week. I do have a C to glue on. Let me glue on a C. I didn't find a C picture. Maybe I could have found a cat. Oh, you know what would have been a good one? Cake. That's a good C word. But I didn't find any pictures like that. You guys can go on a hunt and see what you can find. Now, speaking of hunts, I have a couple of things for you to do. On Facebook, there's going to be another page that your grown-up can print off for you, and it's a C hunt, the letter C hunt. It's going to be a page filled with letters, and your job is to find all the C's. When you find them, you can mark them however you want. You can put an X on them, you can circle them, you can color them. If you have a dot marker, you can dot them, whatever you want to do to mark the C's that you find. That's one hunt that you can do. Another hunt, remember when we made our circle magnifier to look around for circle shapes? You can make a square magnifier and see if you can find some squares that go with that, with your square magnifier. So you can do your paper C hunt. You can go out in your house and in the world to find squares. You can also go out in your house and in the world to find orange things. Find the color orange as well. All right, and then we will get together again tomorrow. So I hope you guys have a great day. I will see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.